Welcome back to Oulton Park and the PowerMax Mini Challenge. All classes have got another race to go, and it'll be the turn of the Coopers in just a moment. This weekend actually sees the return of a former Cooper class champion, none other than Henry Gilbert. Henry, after 3 years, which I can't believe, it's great to see you back, but you're not here with the Cooper class, are you?
No, I'm into them a bit quicker this time. Moved up to the Generation 3 Mini. It's the new car this year. It's a great car to drive, and yeah, the race I've just done wasn't so great. Ended up in the wall just on the first lap, so but the team have got it back out ready for the next race, so we'll see how that one goes. The car itself is great to drive. It feels like a little touring car, which is perfect. It's a great championship. Obviously, I did it a few years ago, and to come back and do it in the new Generation Mini would be great.
It was a tale of 2 races for our top Cooper drivers earlier on. This reverse grid of the top 4 could really shake things up. Let's go over to Ben and get the full lineup.
Thanks, Michelle. So this then is how they're going to start. And don't forget, this is the reverse grid race. So it's Max Bladen and Mark Wakefield on the front row from Simon Oulton and Nathan Harrison. Then Ricky Page and Henry Neal, clear of Darren Chatt and John Attard. Well, there is the sky blue car of Max Bladen. Away we go. It's a good start from Mark Wakefield, though. He anticipated the change of the lights, and therefore it's Wakefield who leads into Oulton. Also a good getaway as well for Simon Oulton. He slots through into second, clear of Bladen. And it's the bright yellow car of Henry Neal, Ricky Page and Nathan Harrison are there or thereabouts. Harrison down into 6th, probably getting the weakest start of them all. And therefore he's perfectly poised to just watch how things unfold in front of him, at least during this first couple of laps, and then begin to side through the order. But it's Wakefield then who is the driver responsible for punching that hole through the air and accelerating as he heads through Island Bend and into Shell Oil's corner. The rest of them all fighting for position just behind as they swoop through Shell Oil's corner, then out to the edge of the road, sprinting on towards Britain's. That's the next stop for them, the flip-flop chicane. It's Wakefield from Oulton, then Bladen and Neal, Ricky Page and Nathan Harrison. The next couple of cars along, and then it's been a reasonably good start as well for both John Attard and Darren Chatt. They are still with the leading group. Wakefield trying to take it out from the front. He's got this queue behind him with then Simon Oulton in car with Joe Polly as she looks to make progress. That's James Goodall ahead of her. Also Martin Poole as well in the mix. Alan Davey, another driver who will be hoping for better in race 2. As Wakefield leads, but now it's Max Bladen who takes the opportunity to challenge him, and Bladen moves to the front of the field. So the pole sitter Max Bladen back to where he started the race, and still Ricky Page on the prowl trying to force the move. Henry Neal as well. There's a lot from race 1. He is right up there with the leading group as they swoop through Lodge and then up over Deer Leap. 3 wide for the lead as they head towards the line, and it's Wakefield who loses out. Bladen who gets his nose in front just ahead of Ricky Page. Henry Neal looking to the outside of Mark Wakefield as well as they head around the outside of Old Hall, swooping into the Avenue Dentons and then Cascades. This leading group, a big gap over the rest of the field. Nathan Harrison now taking his turn to try and challenge Henry Neal, who couldn't quite preserve 3rd from Wakefield. So 6 for the lead, just 3 of them will be on the podium. And next stop, Island Bend, as Ricky Page looks to the inside of Max Bladen. Nothing doing there, a little bit of trim from Bladen's car. But this is where every gear change becomes so important for all these drivers. They cannot afford the slightest errors. Page again trying to force the move. Can't really do it on the way into Britain's. All he's doing is forcing Max Bladen to work very, very hard. Bladen having to consult his mirrors all the time, having really to make the driving element of this race second nature as they head over Hilltop on the brakes towards Hizzies. 2 bits of polystyrene get sent flying as they flick through Hizzies. The run uphill follows. Bladen defends from Page. Max Bladen, oh, he just has hesitation there. Page makes contact with Bladen, who fires off the road and into the Armco barriers, clatters into the wall. Max Bladen's race comes to a very, very abrupt halt, and that was just slightly odd because Bladen's car appeared to hesitate coming out of his lops. Page trying to take evasive action in the end, just making contact with Bladen. The net result, though, is Bladen in the barrier. Mark Wakefield back into the lead now with Henry Neal looking to challenge him. There's Ricky Page in third place. We've still got Simon Oulton and Nathan Harrison all as part of this leading group of cars as they swarm over Deerleet once more, heading in to Old Hall. Ricky Page to the inside of Henry Neal, gets his elbows out, flicks it sideways, keeps it sideways and finds a way past. So Page goes second, or does he, because Henry Neal keeps his right foot firmly planted and might just be able to find the inside line here for Cascades. And indeed he does. Brilliant, brilliant stuff there from Henry Neal. So in battle with Ricky Page as the pair of them then sprint on towards Island Bend. You've got Mark Wakefield in the lead, and now Ricky Page finds his way past Henry Neal with Nathan Harrison just tucked in behind. The same as well for Simon Oulton, who was so impressive in the earlier race. So they come out of Shell Oil's corner and have the quick sprint along to Britain's, where they flip through the chicane. A little bit of dust being kicked up. Right now, in Max Bladen gets the contact, the car goes sideways, and the grass very slippery. Goes in at quite an oblique angle, which is what flicks the car up onto two wheels. Hopefully, not too much damage has been done. We'll see. That's back at the front of the field, fighting later in the season. So they come out of Hislops, getting towards the latter stages of the race. Ricky Page there in second place, Henry Neal doing everything he can to keep hold of third. All the while, though, Mark Wakefield at the front of the field has rather checked out, one would suspect. So he is now some way clear as the rest of the field head out of Druids on towards Lodge Corner. Neal, when he put together a very redoubtable defensive shift in race one, he's done much the same again in this second race, and it could well reward him with a podium finish as they accelerate through. Across the line then for Wakefield. Ricky Page still chasing him down, then Henry Neal. So of course of British Touring Car Championship legend Matt Neal. Nathan Harrison there in fourth, and then the slight gap back to Simon Oulton. You suspect it will take something pretty phenomenal for Page to close on Wakefield. It might take something a little bit less than that for Nathan Harrison, championship leader, to get himself on to the podium once more. He gets a good run on Henry Neal as they accelerate out of Cascades on towards Island Bend. It's clearly pretends to be a French way today for drivers stuck behind Henry Neal. That's the second time we've had that exasperated wave. I'd imagine that the suggestion might be made by the team post-event that efforts would have been better focused on thinking about a way through, because as you let the frustration get the better of you, it gives the car behind, in this case Simon Oulton, the opportunity to close in. But we are now late into the race, just a handful of corners remaining. And will Henry Neal be able to hold on for the podium? He has been improving exponentially throughout the course of the season as Adam Davey and Joe Polly continue their battle that we saw a little bit earlier on in the race. This is fight for 9th place, as now Ricky Page has closed up onto turns of Mark Wakefield, and Wakefield isn't going to have it all his own way heading through to the checkered flag, which is just one corner away. So Ricky Page, could he possibly pull it off on the last lap of the race? Mark Wakefield knows what he needs to do and covers the inside line, defends as stoutly as he possibly can. He squeals on the brakes as they flick through Lodge down into the dip up towards the checkered flag, and Wakefield taking the win from Ricky Page, with Henry Neal driving absolutely superbly to hold on to third place ahead of Nathan Harrison. And then Simon Oulton completes the top five, all of them separated by just 1.6 seconds. So look at the results then. Wakefield wins it from Ricky Page, Henry Neal completing the podium from Nathan Harrison, and Simon Oulton with Martin Poole, the best of the rest, in 6th. So applause and celebration time on the rostrum. Now, time to let rip with the champagne.
I let it most of the way around, and then Max and Ricky squeezed through. I thought, to be honest, because my car they were reeling me in quick, so I thought I'd end up way back, to be honest. But they had a bit of contact. I managed to get the lead and stuck it right to the end.
We had a very frustrating day yesterday, and the guys at Sussex Road and Race spent about 12 hours on the car yesterday. They didn't finish till 1 a.m. this morning rebuilding the car, and yeah, it paid off. We're back where we should be.
You were not going to give up that third place, were you?
I didn't want to give it away. Imagine the podium in my head, and I was like, I want to be on that podium.
Well, drama followed after the race when Ricky Page was excluded from the results due to a driving standards infringement. That therefore promoted Henry Neal to second, Nathan Harrison to third. It means that Harrison leads the championship, leaving Oulton Park from Ricky Page and Mark Wakefield, but there is still everything to race for.
A fantastic and at times breathtaking race. We will have the turbos burning rubber here at Oulton Park in the Power Max Mini Challenge after the break. Don't go anywhere.